Oh, it's recording. There we go. All right. We're recording. All right. Welcome. I just want to say, out of 5 million podcasts that are on the platform today, this is one of them. So, welcome to the first episode of Future Dead People.
I am me and you are you. We're all just people passing through, talking, laughing about what's new. Future dead people, me and you.
Welcome, everybody, to Future Dead People. My name is Justin Saltonstall, and but my friends call me Salty. So I just want to welcome you all to the first episode of a podcast that I've been meaning to do for a long time. And if you've stumbled on this podcast and you're wondering, who the heck is this guy? Why is he doing a podcast? It's a good question. I don't really have a great answer other than, as far as who I am, I can tell you who I am. But I'm a performer. I have worked in the entertainment industry most of my life, and I play music, make goofy videos. I do all kinds of, goofy things. And podcasts is one thing I've never done. And I thought, I should just add one more thing to the list of things that I can fail at. So, no, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And podcasting is something that I never really got into. But it's not like radio. It's a forum where you can just talk and just be natural and just talk about things you like, think of things that you want to do, and talk to different interesting people. And that is really cool. And that's something that's been very interesting to me over the past couple of years. And so I wanted to kind of dip the toe in, so to speak. And this first episode, I'm just going to let you know, especially those of you that don't know me, this is going to be probably the most boring episode that you'll ever hear, which is great news. But I also hope that it's not boring to you as well. But I felt that it was important that this first episode just be me, so I can let you know who I am, and we'll try to find an audience for this. So Future Dead People, you're probably going, okay, what does that mean? Why? I mean, is this a podcast about death? Is this a podcast about ghost stories? And like, no, it's really a play on words. Future Dead People, I like that term because I never really knew what to make the podcast about, solidified in all of its thought out glory. So I said Future Dead People is a good name for the podcast, because we're all future dead people, meaning that we're just people. We're just people that talk to each other. We're just living life. We're just talking. We're having a good time. We're, going through things together, expressing our thoughts and fears and all that. So we're all future dead people. So it's not about death. Is this podcast about me? Yeah, I mean, not completely, because I do plan to have co-hosts, and I do plan to have interviews with people as well. And so it's not just about me. This first episode will be, but that's just so you can kind of get to know everything about me, and much more to come. But is this podcast a Christian podcast? No, I am a Christian though. So I will have people on that will talk about certain things about Christianity or things like that, if that's a topic that is on the plate to talk about. But is it a movie podcast? No, but I do love movies, and I love to talk about movies and break down movies and let you know why I like certain ones and talk about them. So there'll be an episode where I will talk about one of my favorite movies, or my actual favorite movie, and we'll get into that sometime too. But then you're asking, well, is this a theme park podcast? No, I mean, in some ways it is, because I love theme parks. Universal Orlando is my favorite theme parks. I love going there, and I love talking about the theme parks. And so I will talk about a lot of news from the theme parks and updates and all kinds of fun things that are going on there. And because Universal Orlando is just blowing up now even more over the years, and it's really cool. They got a brand new park, Epic Universe, that just opened. We'll talk about, which is I get to go to for the first time in February. I'm so excited. But I am very interested in a lot of theme park vloggers because that's such a big thing now. And I would like to interview and talk to vloggers, in which we will. That'll be exciting as well. We're going to find our audience. So, a little bit about me. Like I said, my name's Justin Saltonstall. I live in Branson, Missouri. And a lot of you probably don't know anything about Branson, Missouri, which is always amazing to me because Branson, Missouri is actually it's a tourist destination. It is the entertainment capital of Branson. Years ago, it used to be entertainment capital of the world. I think it's a tourist town that is full of many shows and theaters, lots of attractions. Silver Dollar City is the main theme park here, and it's very popular. At one time, there was over 100 shows in town, live entertainment, comedy, music, gospel, lots of American patriotism here. We love the veterans here. It's a really cool town. It's a small town, but at the same time, we get 8 million visitors plus a year, which is pretty amazing. That there's still a lot of people out there that don't know anything about Branson. We get that many visitors a year, yet there's a lot of people that don't know about it. And just to let you know, is this a Branson podcast? No, it is not a Branson podcast. But because this is my home base, there will be times that I do talk to people that are performers here or vloggers here or that have something here in town that is of interest to me. And we'll talk to them. But it is not a Branson podcast. So there's a lot of things out there about Branson, so it's not something that I'm interested in devoting a whole podcast to. But I've lived here for 32 years in Branson, Missouri, and I do love it here. My family's here, and but I'm single. I have not even been on a date in 15 years since my first marriage. I'm still reeling from that one. I'm just kidding. I am a performer. Like I said, there was a show in town, Jim Stafford Theater. Jim Stafford was a very popular performer on TV, comedian, and very, very great guy, funny guy. He's basically the reason I play guitar, and I learned so much about comedy and timing through him, and still learning a lot. But I worked for him. It was my first job. Worked for him for 14 years, almost 15 years, and started as an usher. Worked my way up into the show, playing guitar a little bit, upright bass. I called it a glorified stagehand because I did get to go out on stage and play with Jim sometimes too. So, which was a great honor because growing up, Jim was like an idol of mine, and I just enjoyed being part of that whole experience. And talk about a dream job just kind of falling into your lap. It really was. And I really loved that experience in my life. But as much as I played guitar, and I really developed more of a love for just comedy and how comedy works and how people tell jokes and timing, and it's just so interesting to me. I've never been a big fan of stand-up comedy, like watching stand-up comedy specials, mainly because just to having a person on stage just telling jokes. I like some of them more than others. I guess I'm more of one of those people that like to watch somebody that is playing an instrument or using the instrument for comedy, but then also telling jokes, doing songs, more of a variety than just somebody just standing up and telling jokes. But I found out through listening to podcasts, because there's a couple of podcasts that I really love listening to that has stand-up comedians on quite a bit. And what I love about them, even though I don't necessarily like watching stand-up comedy that much, I do love listening to stand-up comics talk about their process and how they craft a joke and how long it takes them to try jokes out and material all over the country and the world and stuff before they even put a special out. That is so interesting to me because it's the behind the scenes of how it really works. But getting into comedy more than just music made me want to do videos. And so I have been on YouTube since 2005. 2005, I think. So 20 years I've been on YouTube. I've had a YouTube channel, and I don't do as much with it now, but I'll show you a couple things on here in a second. But I kind of call myself the original YouTuber because I was on YouTube for so long. But I kind of found a small audience on YouTube, but I never quite understood the algorithms in the beginning. And that wasn't as much of interest to me to try to figure out how to get more views and how to do this and that, so because it got so technical, and I was like, I just want to make the videos. And so I wanted to make funny videos. So I started by, I think the first video I did was Salty's Universal Experience. And my main thought back then was, how can I make videos that are where I can do comedy and do my type of comedy, and people find it and like it and watch it and enjoy it. And because I love Universal Studios, I said, maybe I could be like people like on the Travel Channel used to do those shows on the Travel Channel. Some still do, where they go to places. Maybe I can be kind of like a Travel Channel style host and use Universal as the background, kind of a backdrop of the video to kind of pull people in, and then be able to do my comedy around that. And so that's what I did. But I think that I probably was one of very few people that went around the parks with a camera back then for the sole purpose of making videos, edited video and segments for comedy or for anything like that. Just that wasn't like an actual network coming in and doing it. And I made this very cheesy video and I called it Salty's Universal Experience. And it's me kind of, basically it is kind of like advertising for the park. When you watch it, it's like, it's very interesting. But it's kind of embarrassing watching it now. But honestly, I've gained some fans that watched that first video and have become friends of mine, very close friends of mine over the years. So I'm so thankful for that video. Anyways, it worked up into where my best friend and I decided to go back to Universal, and I had more ideas and I had a better editing sense, and I wanted to kind of pull back on the cheesiness of how I did the video, and I wanted to make it more like big in my eyes. And so we did one called The Florida Adventures of Salty and Bald Guy. And then we also did a second one called The Adventures of Salty and Bald Guy, kinda. And we do so much in it, and it's a lot of fun. But anyways, that goes into where I kind of backed off on certain videos like that, because as the years progressed, in which most of you know, the idea of fully edited videos and fully thought out videos and segments that are kind of are reminiscent of TV shows and Travel Channel style shows, that kind of is not the format that people that started doing YouTube videos went to. They kind of strayed away from that. So when I saw that, it kind of discouraged me from really wanting to make videos at that point anymore, because I'm like, well, gosh, I mean, I spent so much time, really thinking these videos out and trying to come up with something that was good and quality. But then I'm seeing other people that are doing these videos where they're not really doing anything but just kind of going about their day, and they're kind of falling into this audience and the viewership. And I didn't understand it at first, is basically what I'm saying. So I kind of was pulled away from videos for a while. But then, as time goes by, I've gotten to where I enjoy watching vlogs. I'm big on theme park vlogs. There's 3 or 4 that I watch regularly where they give updates on the parks and things. And they've over time kind of started going back to more of the edited versions of those type of vlogs, but sometimes they don't, that there's not really a format that they go by. And I kind of understand it more now. And I don't know if it's I understand it more or you adapt to different things over time. And I really kind of dig some of that stuff, and that's why it's kind of led into podcasting too. But I made all kinds of videos. I made funny goofy song videos where I do covers, where I do like a one-man band thing. I do like, me playing all these instruments, but at separate times, and then I'd line it all up, and it would sound like my band, And I wrote songs and made them. I did parody songs. There was a video I did in, let's see, it's 2020. Anybody remember COVID? And everybody stayed home forever. So when I was at home, I had like my creativity part of my brain just started because I was stuck at home like everybody else. And I did more videos, and I did shorts and things like that. It's kind of when TikTok was really going. I did a video based on that I've Been Everywhere song. And it's interesting how I was able to kind of tie that song into not being able to go anywhere. So I said, I can do the I Can't Go Anywhere song. And I did it. And this video actually I posted on Facebook and TikTok, but I posted on Facebook first, and it got 100,000 views, which for me is a lot. I know that's nothing to a lot of people now, but for me, I didn't understand why it got so many views, but I was so happy that a lot of people got to see it, and I'll share it with you.
I can't go anywhere, man, can't go anywhere, man. This virus in the air, man, stuck in this dang chair, man. COVID-19 ain't fair, man, I can't go anywhere. I've been over here, over there, up here, under there, behind the couch, side of the couch, on the couch, in the couch, this player, that player, always in the refrigerator, short lamp, tall lamp, cute little monkey lamp, bath mat, TV, nightstand, ukulele, bookshelf, box of wigs, time to play, pass the pigs. I can't go anywhere, man, can't go anywhere, man. Government's got me scared, man, to even breathe the air, man. Haven't changed my underwear, man, cause I can't go anywhere. I've been to the toilet, coffee table, stove, room, but back to toilet, upstairs, downstairs, dresser, closet, back to toilet, bed, cabinet, shower, faucet, toilet, bedroom, living room, but mostly in the bathroom. I guess that's all that's left to say is that I can't go out and play, cause I can't go anywhere.
Anyways, that was that one, which leads me to my second one. I think this was about 2022 that I did this song. I know a lot of people, COVID was miserable for them that time, being out and at home. For me, it was kind of a bummer in some ways when I came back and people started coming back, and it's because people seem so judgmental, because, a lot of things in the media, was kind of giving people the permission to go out and to just judge people for, all kinds of either not wearing masks or whatever. And people just, their attitudes towards each other kind of got a little worse, I think, in some ways. And it kind of made me, the stress and anxiety of all of that, it kind of made me miss being at home. So I wrote a song about that, and I loved doing this song. And this is called Take Me Back to Quarantine.
You remember way back in 2020 when we were at home, we had time, we had plenty. I don't remember ever being bored, no. Government gave us money to shelter in place. Seemed kind of weird, but I had a smile on my face, 'cause I didn't have to deal with the human race. I was floored. Oh, take me back to quarantine. I had money in my pocket and people weren't mean. I had time to be funny and appear on your screen all day. Hey. Oh, how fun was quarantine. I had the world to myself and I was the king. No stress, no worries, it was all so serene. So take me back to quarantine. With time to myself, I learned many things, like certain spiders definitely have wings. I found out that my next door neighbor swings. Oh boy, oh no. I read it's too hot for man to go to Venus. Did you know your elbow skin is called your weenus? Don't let that last line come between us or annoy. Oh no, take me back to quarantine. Being back in the real world is making me scream. Alone in the shutdown, not as bad as it seems. Oh no, oh no. Oh, I love my quarantine. I didn't feel like a loser, just doing my thing. I had the gift of time to just do nothing. Can I have just a little more quarantine? I judge you and you judge me. We've been given permission to do it openly. Could I propose something? Possibly. Can we go back to judging silently? Oh, take us back to quarantine, where we were in this together, only separately. We got along with each other swimmingly. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Give us a little more quarantine. We're not lazy, just exhausted. When everything is like it was just all a really good dream. Take us back to quarantine. Take us back to quarantine. Oh, take us back to quarantine.
I want to do a lot of things on this podcast. Currently, I'm a rideshare driver, so I do pick up people a lot. I used to drive taxi in town years ago, back when taxis were still a thing, but now I am a rideshare driver at the moment, and I've had other jobs and stuff. I was worked for a theater here in town for 12 and a half years. I was box office manager and a ticket seller, things like that. But I currently drive for rideshare, and I really love tearing up my car and putting more miles on it than I would have ever dreamed of, because I love my car, but I would love it even more when it's paid for. But I am very thankful for the opportunity to do rideshare. But anyways, I bring up the rideshare thing is because, as we know, people are interesting, and you get a lot of interesting people in your vehicles when you're doing rideshare. So, and I have a lot of stories over the years, so I thought it would be good to have a segment of the show, try to have a segment each episode where we talk about a story or so that I have from my rideshare experience. I haven't decided exactly what I want to call the segment. I have a couple of ideas. I really kind of I wanted to call it Dr. Lift Shits and the Oob Tube, or Confessions from the Driver's Seat. So I don't know. I haven't decided. So I guess I'll just tell you a story. This one is actually a story that goes way back to the taxi days. I picked up a guy. It was the end of the day, my last call of the day. I picked up this guy, and he was drunk. And it was probably about 3:00 in the afternoon, and he wanted me to take him to the grocery store. So I took him to the grocery store. He gets out, walks in, and about 10 minutes goes by, and he doesn't come back out. So I was getting ready to maybe just leave, and a cop pulls beside me, and he gets out and he goes, "Are you here for the guy that's shoplifting?" And I went, I guess, I don't know. I said, "There's a drunk guy that I brought down here." And he's like, "Well, he's shoplifting. They said he's shoplifting more alcohol." So, so I'm like, great, So this is, like I said, this is like a $5 call, So I mean, I'm like, why am I even doing this? This is the last call of the day. I'm so tired. So, but then the cops go inside, and then they make me come inside, and I have to go to this back room with this guy, and while they're talking to him and stuff. I'm like, I'm just the driver. I don't want to be here. And so the one cop is frisking the guy, and he frisks him, and he gets down and he frisks him. And the cop looks up at him. He's like, "Sir, it would have really been nice if you'd told me that you pissed your pants before I started doing this." And then the drunk guy goes, "Sir, I pissed my pants 3 days ago." As if that was going to make it better. And it didn't. And the cop went, "Okay, whatever." And then the drunk guy looks at me and he goes, "Sir, I promise you I will pay you for the ride as soon as we get back to my motel." And the cop looks up at me and goes, "Is that cool? You want to take him back to the motel?" And I went, "No, I don't care anything about taking this guy anywhere." I said, "It's only like a $5 call. He can keep the money. You guys take him home." And that was one of the only times I've ever been stiffed in the cab. Anyways, that was my rideshare story for today. Guys, I don't know what else to do but just to say goodbye. I appreciate you guys, and it's really awesome to have you here. God bless you. We'll see you next time.
Future dead people, me and you.